Hello friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. And thanks so much to everyone who subscribed to the channel and turn on notifications for new stories every single day. And let's get right to our first story for today. Lady, you need a life coach. Okay, so this happened yesterday. Thought it was worth sharing, so I'm just going to jump right in. So a little background. Back when I was in high school, I used to work as a lifeguard and occasionally teach swim lessons to some younger children at this gym in my area. It was a really nice gig. Picked my own hours, got a free membership to the gym, and the deepest part of the pool was only 4 feet deep. Super easy crap. I stopped working there about 4 years ago, yet still maintained a membership all these years after I started working at my current company. Fast forward to today. I'm finishing up my workout and walking through the pool deck to get to the sauna. While I'm walking through, I'm recognized by one of the kids I used to teach swim lessons to. He was in the water playing in the shallow end, and his mother was sitting off to the side looking at her phone. As soon as he saw me, he stood up, shouted my name, and came running towards me for a hug. I asked him how he'd been doing, and this is when I hear the kid's crazy mom, CM, shout, "It's about time you showed up." Thrown off and not sure what she meant by this, I simply look at her and say, "Excuse me?" CM, "Cut the crap. We've been waiting for about 15 minutes. His lesson was supposed to start 10 minutes ago. At this point, it dawned on me that she actually thought I still worked there. I was honestly so surprised she thought I worked there, considering I was wearing a sweat-drenched gray t-shirt, black shorts, and running shoes. The uniform for teaching swim lessons at the gym is essentially the exact same one as lifeguards. Red swim trunks that say guard and a whistle around either my wrist or neck. So I politely say to her, "Ma'am, I no longer work here. I haven't in 4 years. I just came here for a workout," and pointed to my attire. CM, "That's not true. I see you all the time. You've taught my child a few times. Where's your supervisor? Why are you lying to me?" Me, "Once again, I haven't worked here in 4 years, but I did teach your son, and that's why I said hi to him. Now I'm just a regular customer like you. I'm trying to work out and go home. I can give you my supervisor's number over at XYZ Inc., but I doubt he'd care very much about this." At this point, I can kind of see it registering in CM's eyes. A look that looked something like, "Oh crap, maybe this guy actually doesn't work here anymore. But I need to save face." At this point, she says, "Well, the least you can do is get us a few towels for our troubles. My son is going to be freezing, and I forgot to grab some on the way out here." At this point, honestly, I'm just completely floored. Where do people like this get their sense of entitlement from? I'm trying to think of an appropriate response, and me being the wise ass that I am, offered to hand her the sweaty small little hand cloth I was carrying that I used while I worked out. CM shrieked as if I was holding a dead puppy. "Get that away from me! What are you doing? Go get me some towels, you jackass!" I simply looked at her and said, "Lady, I'm not your errand boy. You don't talk to people you don't know like that. You don't need a lifeguard for your kid, you need a life coach for yourself." Honestly, I've never felt like such a bad dude in my life after saying that. I just turned around and started walking away as she yelled at me. It was like a scene from a movie where cool guys don't look at explosions. I wonder what the Mother of the Year yelled as you walked away. And our second story. I got reported to management for a company I don't work for. Happened a few years ago. Friend and I decided to hit up GameStop to see if there was anything worth buying. I just happened to be wearing a polo shirt and had a lanyard/ID around my neck because I'd just left the office. This kid comes up to me in the Xbox section and asks me if a certain game is available for PS3. He was probably about 12, and I do know a fair bit about video games, and I happen to know that, yes, this title was available on multiple consoles. I went ahead and answered him in an affirmative yes, this title was available for PS3. He simply said, "Get it for me." I paused and looked down at this kid. "Excuse me?" "Get it for me. I want to buy it." I tell him, "How about you go get it for yourself? The shelf's right there," and pointed off into the distance. I started to turn away, and he forcefully demands again that I get him the damn game. I went ahead and kneeled so that I was eye level with him and told him, "If you want that game so bad, walk your little butt over there and pick it up. I'm not your B-word." Kid runs off, gets his mom. My buddy and I are having a good chuckle at this. We get our games and head off to stand in line. While we're making our way through the line, here comes the kid again with his mom in tow. Now this GameStop is attached to a bookstore, So I guess his mom decided to let GameStop babysit her little hellspawn while she sneaked off to look at 50 Shades of Lame. Mom's throwing a crap fit in the front, saying that some employee told her child to walk his fat B-word butt over to a shelf and get a game himself, and she demands that the employee is fired. Right about now, my buddy and I are stepping up to the register to pay for our games while Mom and her kid are looking for said employee. The kid looks up at me and goes, "That's him!" Mom just explodes on me with a ton of vitriol. She's gonna have me fired and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, my buddy and I are cracking the F up. He's talking crap like, "Oh no, you're gonna get fired, dude," or asking the person ringing us up if we can have my employee discount before I'm terminated. So this circus is only causing me to laugh harder, which in turn is making her even more angry. In the midst of me on the verge of tears from laughing, this lady losing her crap, and my buddy goading the woman on further and screwing with the GameStop employees, asking for my employee discount, the manager comes up front and asks what's going on. Lady explains how I was rude to her son and refused to do my job, how I used foul language at her child and was very unprofessional. She wanted me gone, etc., etc. Manager looks at me, looks back at the lady, back at me, back at the lady, then tells her, "Ma'am, he doesn't work for GameStop." Dead silence. My buddy then speaks up. "So I take it that's a no on the employee discount?" One thing I don't get, if I was the kid and someone told me the game I'm looking for is available, I'd rush to the shelf to find it. New game, etc., not demand the employee go get it for me. Apple didn't fall from the tree on that one. And our next story. Today I learned I'm a lazy millennial at the ripe old age of 42. My brother and I went to an amusement park last weekend. As Bro and I are standing in front of a food stall near the picnic pavilions discussing what we want to eat, a very large woman with the classic "I want to speak to your manager" haircut. What's the deal with that haircut and overly entitled women? Pushing a big stroller with a bunch of bags but no kid in it, she comes up to us to complain that the trash cans around one of the pavilions are full. Bro and I look at her, look at each other, look back at her. He was wearing these shorts and a gray t-shirt, and I wore khaki-colored capris and a turquoise t-shirt. Plain t-shirts, no lettering, no picture, no name badges, no lanyards. Park employees wear shirts in various primary colors with the name of the park in bright yellow and name badges. "What do you want us to do about it?" asked my brother. "Well, I want you to empty the trash cans." She stomped her foot. I kid you not, this grown or overgrown woman actually stomped her foot. "We don't work here," my brother tells her. "Of course you do. You're just lazy and don't want to get the trash. You young people are so lazy." Bro is 38, I'm 42. We definitely don't look like young people anymore. In fact, my brother is starting to get gray hair. Bro, not me. I wouldn't be too surprised if Stroller Lady was younger than both of us. "We don't work here. Go talk to the food vendor. Maybe they can call maintenance," I say. She tells me to shut up and shoves her stroller at me. I block it with my foot and it tips over. Then she starts shrieking. Bro and I are kind of frozen for a moment. What just happened? Then a security guard comes over. After this, I noticed there was usually a security guard near the food vendors, and we explained what happened, all while Stroller Lady is yelling that we're lazy millennials and we could have killed her baby. And we don't want to do our jobs. The security guard gets a bit agitated for a moment, but a quick examination of the contents of the stroller reveals a complete lack of child. During all this hullabaloo, her husband shows up with the baby, who looks about 10 years old. WTF. Miss Stroller is still crying and half-heartedly screaming while the security guard gets on his radio, and my brother and I just kind of hang around awkwardly. 2 more security guards come running up, and the original guard informs Stroller Lady that as she's now harassed other park guests 3 different times, she's being ejected from the park. Cue more screaming. Husband and baby look embarrassed. The first security guard asks me and Bro if we're okay and if we'd go somewhere out of Stroller Lady's sight, as she's still pointing at us and screaming about millennials. He hands us a couple of vouchers for free food, score, and we skedaddle with the melodic strains of an entitled a-hole's screams in our ears. But apart from that, we had a really nice time. You millennials will do anything for food vouchers, won't you? And our next story. I don't give a damn about your kid. I made the mistake of wearing khakis and a red shirt into Target once. I got asked so many questions, but just laughed it off. One lady, though, I was looking at makeup, and this lady with her small child came running up to me. She asked where the bathrooms were, and I told her I had no idea. She went from 1 to 100 and started screaming that her child was about to have an accident, so I better get on my radio and figure it the F out. I said, I don't work here, and frankly, I don't give a damn about your kid. She went stomping off, so I went to grab groceries. As I'm wheeling up to pay, lady taps me on the shoulder and says gleefully, "Remember me? You're getting fired." I look over to the manager, who looks me in the eye and says, "I don't recognize you. Do you work here?" When I said no, he looked really exhausted and said, "I'm sorry, ma'am. Enjoy your day." The crazy lady was still insisting he fire me as I was leaving. Poor guy. I never made that fashion mistake again. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked this video. I'll see you in the next one.